Where do I begin with how the media portrays black women? I think historically we've seen different archetypes of black women presented. Media is a powerful force in our culture. It's pervasive, it's ubiquitous, it's accessible, and it's extremely influential in the lives of people.
I think that they're very sexualized and always portrayed as either really rich and like loud or poor and like bad mothers. Never really see like a really good version of a black woman except like Claire Huxtable, Michelle Obama. Like really classic types of women.
Yeah, especially in the music videos, I would definitely say that it's kind of like I don't know. I just don't see how these women grow up and they aspire to be like, instead of saying I want to be first female president, I want to be a CEO of my own company. It's kind of like I want to be hoe number 3 on the left, shaking my butt for the camera for money, and it's really kind of it's a bad representation of black women.
I think that the depictions that we have of black women are pretty obvious to how we see them. Because, just look at what types of roles black women have won for the Oscars. They're either maids, or they're drug dealers, or they need to be saved in some type of way by a white savior character. There's always some type of way that they're doing wrong in the community.
With Scandal, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things. I admire that she is one of the few women of color, just in general, if you talk about like marginalized or disenfranchised groups. She's one of the few on a mainstream television show that everyone likes to watch, but also being a black woman that wow, when you think about it, there aren't a lot of leading black women on TV at all. But there's a lot of complicated things, like she gets her power through sex. Which is, as a woman, you can do that, that's fine, but why as a black woman do you have to get your power that way?
So I think that it was easier for my generation to see positive depictions of black women. Because way before anybody can remember Girlfriends or Sex and the City, there was Living Single. That show ran from 1993 to 1998 with 4 human, not always perfect, but positive representations of black women. These women had jobs. These women had goals, ambitions. They might not always do the right thing, but it showed that we're more than just the video vixen. We're more than just that woman that's sitting on the corner waiting for her next fix.
Sometimes I feel like images of black women are used as platforms to create this post-racial society. And even though this is beyond Beyonce's control because she's doing her job, I hear some of the most ridiculous things that people say about like culture or about image or about like other black artists like Nicki Minaj or Rihanna, but then they'll bring it back to be like, oh, I like Beyonce. There was one interesting article I read from Jezebel. They made a list of the top 10 things that damaged feminism for that year. And one was Rihanna, and she did this song, I think it was called Pour It Up, and she's twerking. She's twerking in the song. And twerking is like this very salacious, very sexually provocative dance. And you use your buttocks. It is very sexual. But they were just shaming her for doing this in her video. But then with some of Beyonce's videos, she's doing similar things. Partition, she's doing some things. Drunken Love, she's doing some things. But then people are like, oh, I'm gonna listen to Drunken Love and Partition all the time. I love that song. I love what Beyonce is doing in that video. And I'm just like, what made Rihanna, less acceptable. And then Beyonce, everything acceptable.
I would love to see a TV show or a movie where women of color have layers.
Add more sitcoms where women are in positive, or women of color are in more positive roles. Bring back sitcoms like The Cosby Show. Bring back things like Living Single, like That's So Raven, where you're having, a black, lead in there and things like that. Bring back those kinds of shows that put those women of color in positive roles.
For me, I am who I am, and so I want to see myself in the media, and I don't. And that's changing, but we know we have a much longer way to go in really presenting Black women across the continuum.